Hey, welcome to number 307 of the photo share. What is this? April 5th, 2020. Hope everybody's doing well, staying safe in this state of national and perhaps worldwide stay-at-home orders. Everybody, let me go ahead and post a link in YouTube. See what we got there, and we are. I guess this is week 4. I don't know. Since they, here we go. Since we started this, COVID-19. Hey, there's Coach waiting in a huge line outside Home Depot. Everybody waiting for what? Toilet paper, sanitizer? What do you think? We'll see. Yeah, there still are lines in a lot of places. So, oh, he's waiting to get in. Yeah, only so many at once. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, a lot of stores are doing that. I know Costco was doing that. My local Trader Joe's was doing that too, and I guess it makes sense. It makes it easier for everybody to stay socially distanced if there's only, say, 50 people in the store instead of 350 people. So actually, my Publix, my local grocery store, did that. No, I guess they weren't monitoring. Trader Joe's definitely was. Costco was. But Publix, I just went mid-morning last Tuesday or Wednesday, and fair amount of people, but nothing crowded at all. So, welcome to the new reality. Anyway.
Hello.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. So you're under the statewide stay-at-home, just like we are now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
They finally implemented that. Did you guys do it on Tuesday, I think?
I don't, because I wasn't working last week. I'm not really sure. I was staying home no matter what. So
yeah. I've been that way for for the last 4 years, but for the last few weeks, yeah. I mean, we've been pretty much staying home anyway. I mean, Pam has been working from home for the last 3 weeks. So, hey, there's Frank.
Where?
Hey, Frank.
I don't know.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, stay at home. Wash your hands.
Okay, I'm gonna back away from the computer for my social distancing.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, you gotta stay 6 feet back. So.
And I'm not shaving until this whole thing is over.
Okay. All right. You may end up looking like a hobbit at some point.
It's okay.
Hey, Dennis.
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Dennis, how are things on your side of the pond?
Well, they said on our news just now the Prime Minister's been taken to hospital.
Oh, really? Wow.
That's not good.
They said he's had this virus for 10 days, and now his doctors have sent him in for further tests.
Oh, okay. So he's not getting any better, is what's basically
happening. They're going to sort him out.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this channel on YouTube called Audioholics.
Bucking?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that guy has coronavirus, and he's been dealing with it for about 30 days now, and he still tests positive, even though he's gone through the whole regimen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he feels better now, but he's still testing as positive, right?
That's correct. Okay. Yeah, he just posted a video yesterday about it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I hadn't. I'll add it back in. I hadn't seen his most recent one. I watched his first 2, so maybe he's posted a couple more. But yeah, he got it from he thinks some guy that was a representative of a Chinese audio company that came by and listened to some speakers during the Florida Audio Expo. Mm-hmm. So when was that, Wes? Mid-May? Or not mid-February? Mid-end of February?
Yeah. I was there. Uh-oh. I guess I would have known by now if I had it.
It's been a month. Yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah.
most of the time if you're going to get it, you're going to know in a week or two after you've been exposed. So,
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people. I mean, they'll find out. I mean, I guess they really won't know until they start doing kind of the antibody testing. But I'm sure there's a lot of people who had it and, very mild symptoms and never thought anything of it. And, while they had it, they were contagious, but they didn't have any real, negative events from it. But, we won't know until you test the antibodies and see.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, can you hear us now, James?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. So yeah, it's interesting. They're going to find a lot more people like that, I think. They'll probably find, hundreds of thousands of people that had it that weren't officially part of the statistics because they had it and they thought it was a cold for a couple of days and it went away, and then they've got the antibodies in their blood plasma. So
they say 85% of people who have it have very mild symptoms.
Yeah. So,
but it's that 15% that can really hurt a society in a country.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. 85% have no symptoms or very, very mild. 15% show some symptoms, and then there's some out of that 15%, like 10% of those are the people that go into require 10 or 20% of those require hospitalization, and then you get a certain percentage of that. But at the end of the day, it ends up being a few percent that are in requiring hospital, and and it's just happening so fast. That's the issue. It's overpowering the capacity at the hospital.
Is that in this country you're talking about?
Oh, it's everywhere.
Oh.
I mean, it's just the way the virus, the percentage of people that feel the effects of it one way or the other, and then the varying degrees of feeling it. So it's interesting. I mean, I think we're going to be in it till probably the end of May, as far as kind of the stay at home and do all that. I think we're good for. I think we're in it for another 6 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks.
I'm just surprised that it's taking so long to get this hydroxychloroquine out to the masses.
It's dangerous. That's the reason they don't know what the effects are still.
Oh, it's been around and approved by the FDA for over 70 years, so they know the side effects.
For malaria and other stuff, but they don't. Apparently, it has different effects when it's treating this kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem. It can cause heart failure. I mean, all kinds of nasty stuff. So the dosing is different depending on the condition. I mean, they've used it for malaria. They use it for rheumatoid arthritis. There's a few other things that they've used it for. But I guess the dosing and all that is different depending on what it's being used to treat. So, and it's lupus is one of the diseases that they have used it to treat. And I guess because everybody's making a run on it because they think it's going to be the magic bullet for COVID-19, that the people who have been taking it for years for ongoing conditions it's not available for them anymore.
Yeah, they're really concerned that there's going to be a shortage for it.
Yeah. So it's interesting, that's for sure. It's every day is a new adventure. Learning new stuff. So so everybody still healthy though, right? No symptoms anywhere. No coughing, fever. Maybe I need to wait a minute. I'll point my mouse over each of you and test the temperature. Okay, everybody's good. Okay.
What temperature will be high? It's a lovely sunny day today.
Yeah, it's nice here too. Yeah, we got almost up to 80 here, I think, in Atlanta. So it's
rainy here.
Oh, you guys getting rain? Okay.
Yeah.
Same here.
Okay.
Supposed to have thunderstorms, but that never happened.
Okay. All right.
But then again, a thunderstorm for California is like 3 strikes.
Yeah. It's quite a bit different than a thunderstorm.
Or Florida.
In the South, yeah. Florida's like the land of thunderstorm or lightning. It is the lightning capital of the world almost. Yeah.
I was in Virginia once, and the lightning was nonstop. I had to get out of my car, and I was like, do I or just sit here?
Yeah.
I mean, I had more strikes in a 5-minute period than my entire life here in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
You're safest in your car.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's rain every day in Florida.
In the summertime, yeah, pretty much.
Showers in the afternoon. So.
Yeah, every afternoon around 4 or 5 o'clock,
Yeah. Cool.
Set your
Shower.
watch to it, huh?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Same thing, and like I think I mentioned this before in Colorado.
Hmm.
Right at a certain time of the day, all of a sudden it would just like hail and then go away. It just
Yeah. It's like mid June through mid end of June through August. Yeah, the monsoon. Yeah, but every day you'd see the stuff bubbling up over the mountains, and then the clouds get darker and darker, and then it would get over the plains, and it would just dump, and it would move on. You know, we lived close to the mountains, so we didn't get the tornadoes. But what would happen is it would get farther out on the plains, it would whip up again, and then you could get tornadoes and all that kind of fun stuff. So
yeah, going through the airport and seeing a tornado shelter sign, that was rather novel for me.
yeah. Now, speaking of a tornado, we have the human tornado. Joe D is right here. Yeah.
Having pasta, man. You know.
Mm.
I had spaghetti.
I got to make some spaghetti gravy.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you actually
Sunday-
found pasta in your store? Was there pasta in your store?
Sunday gravy. Yeah.
Did you find pasta when you went shopping? Was there actually pasta in the store?
No, I had pre-hoarded it, so
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
This is
Well,
from my own pantry.
you are
It's easy
you
to
are
make too.
you are part Italian, so I mean that's just genetic that you have to hoard pasta.
Yeah, I mean it's actually it's built in. Yeah. That is one of those things, you know, like the people that raised me, you know, like my grandma being one of them. It was just you know those you know, my grandma was that generation from the Depression, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you had to have canned goods, you had to have pasta, you had to have these things. So I've had, you know, and my grandma, you know, God bless her, rest her soul and everything. But when she passed away, you know, I took care of her and everything till she passed. She passed in my house. And that lady hoarded so much toilet paper. I had 4 women in the house plus me. So that was 5 people. I literally didn't buy toilet paper for almost 6 months. That lady had so much toilet paper, you know?
If only you had it now.
Yeah.
You'd be rich.
Yeah.
But as you know, Mark, I've got a lot of Amazon subscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've got around 13 of them. And, you know, I had just got my shipment of toilet paper before all this stuff had happened because it comes to me every few months. So,
Yeah. So you're good.
yeah, I was actually okay before all that.
Yeah.
Before all that hit, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. We have enough for probably another month and a half. So I'm hoping by then there's stuff showing up in the stores. So anybody seeing any toilet paper on the shelves? Look, I still go into like Target, and that whole paper goods section is just
It's still
completely-
fairly empty here, but there's usually a box or two or something. If you absolutely have to have something, there's usually some paper towels and some toilet paper.
yeah. But most of the other stuff seems to be getting back on the shelves. The canned goods, the pasta, the rice, I'm seeing come back. Some of the fresh meat, that's coming back into supply. So.
Laundry detergent.
Mm-hmm.
I think the worst thing about it is actually going shopping, being afraid of being too close to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you start? Okay. When I go to the store now, I start feeling like I'm getting a sore throat and stuff. I swear to God. I think it's just the anxiety of it. Like I feel like I'm getting a sore throat and like I can feel like the scratchiness of wanting to cough. And I'm like, no, man, don't cough here. I swear to God. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're just praying you don't sneeze. You know what I'm saying? Because then, you know, I think people would throw you out.
Evacuate the building.
Yeah. I'm not stressing out too much. I go in. I've got my hand sanitizer, so I sanitize my hands before I go in. Then sanitize them when I get out of the store before I get in the car, and then That's
Does anyone order from Harris Teeter? Because I ordered some from Harris Teeter, and I made my list up, and I was going to select my time. So I got the time, and then today I wanted to add an item. When I added the item, I lost my time.
oh, yeah. We don't have Harris Teeter, but I mean, so you can have delivery.
So now I've got to wait another day to get the delivery. I've got to check it tonight.
Yeah.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are using Instacart or whatever from the stores, and they're saying now it used to be once they get it within a day. Now it's 3 or 4 or 5 days out because they're just they're overwhelmed. I mean, they're just
Yeah, my mom just made a Costco purchase online.
Oh, okay.
And they delivered
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe,
same day.
did you get told the English translation for toilet rolls?
Oh yeah. Yeah, if I'd have put toilet rolls in there, I'd have had a bunch, I imagine,
Yeah. Now I want to show this. This is something you sent to me, Joe. So you probably know what picture this is. But this is very important when you're shopping in the store.
Yeah. Yep. Farts distant away, man. Yep. It's the easiest way to keep track of it. If you can't figure out how far away to be from somebody, just think farts distance away. Yep.
I sent that to some friends, and I just laughed. They thought that.
It's the easiest way. It's a little gross, but you get it instantly.
My 8-year-old niece and 10-year-old nephew loved it.
Mhm.
They thought that was perfect stuff.
Yeah.
But
I've been preaching it for weeks already, man. I'm like, farts distance away, man. It's the easiest thing ever.
yeah. So a little bit of photography going on this week. I know Dennis looks like you got out a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, did you have to have like your little card that said you were allowed to go out? Was it essential activities?
No, we're allowed to go out once a day for a walk.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and I only live a couple of minutes from the seafront, so I just go along the seashore.
Now, were there people out monitoring the activities and reporting people that are out too long or too often or anything like that?
No, I think London's getting locked down tighter now because they're closing the parks because people were out sunbathing. The weather's turned really nice here,
Mm-hmm.
and the police were in the parks, just sending them all home. They were doing picnics in the park.
Yeah.
I saw they had a Dalek out patrolling.
Oh, Dalek.
Yeah.
This does not compute.
Yeah.
What is it? What's that phrase they say?
Exterminate.
Yeah, exterminate. Exterminate.
Those things freaked me out when I was a kid watching that
Oh
show.
yeah.
Oh,
That was scary as a kid.
Yeah. Get out of the park. Exterminate. Exterminate.
It's funny too because it's I don't know that I feel like it's so different here in Phoenix than it is in the rest of the country because I mean we still got people it's seniors golfing out and about they literally just closed the beauty salons and all that sort of thing yesterday. I mean,
You don't have near as many cases as a lot of other states, but now what's going to be interesting, and hopefully it isn't as interesting as I think it's going to be, but in a couple of weeks, if you see this number of cases spike, you just wonder if all that stuff that they've allowed going on up to this point.
Right.
Because it doesn't happen instantly. It's a week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks out before people, display symptoms and do all that. So.
And I think I did hear this morning on my update with the Amazon device there that I think our number did double over the last 2 days. So there's definitely some concern. I'm one of those guys that's out there every day, all day. And people are moving here from other areas. People are, people that have it like that have multiple homes, and there's quite a few people that do. They're in a position where they can pick and choose where they want to be. Do I want to be in a cold environment, or do I want to be in Florida or Arizona, where it's not as bad? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we had a lot of people coming in here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, well,
That's
didn't
what
the
I'm
governor say everybody that comes in from New York or whatever, you got to self quarantine?
Yeah, they're saying that, but who's going to enforce it?
Yeah.
I'm on the Johns Hopkins map right now. In Arizona, they have 1,326 confirmed cases with 31 deaths and 0 recovered.
Yeah. That's what I was looking at. Here's the U.S. This is the map you're on, right, Frank?
Yep.
Yeah. So, Arizona's got nothing at this point, comparatively.
Yeah, you zoom in, and all of a sudden, those red dots start to sparse out and get smaller.
Mm-hmm. So there's Arizona. So you zoom in. So you got, and they go by county. I guess they go by where the counties are. So is this Maricopa? Yeah, Maricopa County, 1,300 cases.
And the thing of it is, and that's why I've been trying to ask, like on the Share Beer show, is, because I have someone close to me now that works in an emergency room here, and her particular hospital, they are literally trying to find stuff for them to do every day because they're getting no patients.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing that from some of the other guys at work whose wives or spouses or significant others work in hospitals here as well. And it kind of makes you wonder, well, where are all these patients? Where are the 1,200 at? Because
most of them are, but they might be reported, but they're not necessarily in the hospital. I mean,
right.
Like you're saying, like 85% of people probably, it's like a flu or a really bad cold, so they're just they're confined at home for a week or two.
I think another state might ask them to come up there and help.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Why not fly out those nurses to the hot spots like New York and certain areas of California, Florida, and Chicago?
Yeah,
probably wouldn't let them back.
Probably too. So here we are in Georgia, my state. So we've got 6,600 cases, and 211 deaths. Here's my county, Gwinnett. So we've got 400. So that's doubled in the last few days.
Why is it every time I click on one of those dots, the recovered number is 0?
Yeah, I don't know if they report that on a state level or not, because
Might not be.
they might not be. Yeah, see, they're just going by the whole country, I think.
What's North Carolina? Because I can't read that.
Oh, North Carolina, 2,600 confirmed cases, 37 deaths, and so it looks like the biggest is Mecklenburg. That's
Yeah.
So there's 664 there, 4 deaths. So I mean, it's relatively low comparatively.
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at like New York.
Wow.
Yeah. 4,000 deaths and 122,000 confirmed cases.
I think New York, the reason New York got hit so hard is because of their public transit.
Oh, and 8 million people in a relatively small area. And,
but then again, you got the Bay Area with just as many people, but we don't take the subway, with 80 people packed in a car.
Yeah.
Well, we pretty much drive everywhere in our own little incubators.
The Bay was
also
the
known as
first one to
cars.
shut down too.
Yeah. San Francisco was one of the first major cities to issue the stay-at-home.
Yeah.
And
That's really what did it.
And they've done remarkably well, comparatively for cities. I mean, they've got, what do they have? 8 deaths but comparatively.
Yeah.
If they hadn't done that, if they'd waited another 2 weeks, you'd see that,
Number,
compared to everybody else,
higher.
way higher. Yeah. So it's interesting, and it's one of those things where you're not going to see an immediate, so everybody that's just doing the stay-at-home orders now, you're not going to notice the difference for a couple weeks, because it takes a while for things to kind of work through the system.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone believes the word coming out of China that they only have 82,000 deaths or 82,000 cases.
Yeah.
Population of 1.5 billion? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think Boris Johnson is right. It's probably 40 times
Yeah.
larger than that, and that's probably an understatement.
I would imagine, yeah. Can you look at them? They flattened the curve. Yeah. Over the last 3 weeks, they've only gained, let me see, on March 2nd, they said they had 80,000. And yeah, so they gained supposedly only 2,000 cases in the last 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. But there's no way to confirm it because they
Mhm.
kicked off pretty much all the journalists out.
Yeah.
Done all that. So it's interesting. It is, and they haven't even, other parts of the world, Africa and Central Asia and South America. I mean, they have no real idea probably.
And look at that guy from Audioholics, man. He still has it. He's still like he put out that video yesterday or something.
Yeah.
Pleading for help because he cannot figure out what to do. He can't figure out how to shake it.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Yeah. A month and a half ago, oh no, we'll be fine. We've only got 15 people in the country that have it. It's going to be all gone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of question too, like, because in a lot of cases that happen, any death or any sort of thing that happens now, even if it's regular common flu, they're going to attribute it to corona because it's in this time period,
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder how exaggerated our numbers are. Even.
Yeah. Well, on the other end, though, there was before it was officially, a pandemic or whatever. Some guy that monitors, they monitor the flu season to kind of see where people are, and they kind of know year by year kind of what the spike is in flu cases and hospital admissions. They noticed about 2 weeks before it became coronavirus was officially a pandemic, they noticed an out of the ordinary spike in doctors' offices and hospitals for quote unquote the flu. And they said it was never like that before. So they're thinking that a lot of that was probably
corona,
but they weren't testing for it, but they had similar types of symptoms. So yeah.
I saw a video by Bill Whittle, and he was talking about how the hospitals use these smart thermometers to measure, obviously, whenever someone had an elevated temperature, it would record it, and they noticed that they had a line of what they were expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And the line of readings was higher than expected. And then when you actually start plotting the government mandates for stay at home and close schools and close bars and pubs, then all of a sudden you saw that line just tank.
Mm-hmm.
So it's proof that this social distancing thing definitely works.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely having the effect, if not just on corona, but definitely on the flu itself.
All the other, like you were saying, Joe, all the other, people aren't as sick. They're not getting, even if they're not getting coronavirus, they're not getting the flu. They're not getting
right.
cold,
All the other
because they're not. Yeah, I mean, all that stuff is spread by close contact, coughing, sneezing, breathing, that type of stuff.
Right.
And if people are away from each other, it doesn't happen. If you don't get 60,000 people in a dome stadium to watch a basketball game, there's some percentage of cases of any kind of communicable disease that's not going to happen because everybody's home.
Right.
Yeah, that was exactly my point. It's like, and to take that even further, you heard my argument. I'm like, so we're halfway into this 2-month period right now, right? We're halfway into it. We were wondering where we were going to be at since we couldn't find toilet paper at the end of week 1, for Christ's sake. And now the supply chain's catching up and we're getting things. I knew that was going to happen. I mean, I'm part of that. But where are we going to be at now at the end of week 8 of this thing? And is the school bell going to ring and we're just going to run out of our houses and jump in our cars and start polluting our areas and start I know Phoenix looks nicer now that there's not as many cars driving around. I mean, the the weather's a little better, a little nicer. There's
Less
not too many
pollution.
people sick.
Did you see photos coming out of Venice? The water in the canals are actually
I
running
heard
clear.
about that.
Yeah,
I
you
know
could
I
actually
didn't see it.
see into the water instead of.
I heard it, and the thing of it is I'm not a tree hugger or any of those sorts of things. Like I'm not a big environmentalist or all this stuff, but God bless. I mean, you got to give it to him on this one, man, because it's only been a few weeks, and look at the direct impact on our environments,
Mhm.
And then on the other side of that, I've been seeing even lawyers trying to hustle work because there's not as many people getting in accidents, so there's nobody to sue. There's like, you know what I'm saying? Even lawyers are trying to scramble around for some work.
Yeah.
Hey, can you like fall at home and we can sue your home builder, please? Because like we need
Well, the commercial now, they're holding up a pad and a telephone saying, you can still contact us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, but that's how like this thing staying at home has affected so many industries. I know. Now it may be nice here, and maybe the threat isn't as imminent as we speak right now here in our state, but we're still feeling the impact. They're talking about laying off, mass layoffs of public employees here because they're just not as needed. I mean, and when it gets down to like lawyers, insurance companies are hurting now. They're seeing the impact because there's not as many people driving around and they're going, hey, if I'm going to be home for 2 months, then
Yep.
I'm raising my my deductible on my car insurance because I'm not driving.
Mhm.
Yep.
And if you're not driving, you're not getting speeding tickets. So
Right. The cops they're scrambling around literally, man. They
Yeah.
are scrambling around for, all these sorts of different jobs they count on a certain amount of people screwing up and doing this and that,
auto body places. I know in California during the drought, the auto body shops were really filling it because people weren't driving in the rain and getting in accidents.
Yeah. That's probably the same thing now because I mean, you look at the traffic. I mean, it's less than half by a long shot. It's way under half as far as normal traffic, and less traffic means less accidents, less body work, less police reports, less lawyers.
Less deaths on the road. I mean, how many people are not dying of the flu because we're all staying at home? How many people aren't dying of car accidents because we're staying at home?
I tell you, I'm out there on the roads here in Phoenix at least. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many accidents I see a day before this. Now, when I see an accident, it's like a big deal because you're like, whoa, there's an accident. You know what I'm saying? Because you haven't seen one in a little while.
Hey, Joe, what do you deliver? Is it different every load?
Yeah, it's different. It's just dry freight. I just deliver. I mostly, me personally, probably up until the afternoon, because I work very long hours. So up until the afternoon, I'm mostly doing what are called UPACs, the moving side of our business. So we have, so I deal with in the morning into like about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm dealing with pure people that are moving in or out of our state. So, and then
what do you drive?
I drive typically. Well, I personally drive, my tractor that I drive is just a day cab, a single axle day cab. And I could be pulling Lord knows what trailer, anything from a 28-foot pup trailer to a 53-foot dry freight trailer. But we handle dry freight. So anything that's dry, not refrigerated, is what's considered.
You're not doing no refrigeration then.
Right. Yeah. Refrigeration is considered wet or, stuff like that. It's perishable. So, we don't handle a lot of perishables. We handle some. I mean, especially this time of year when it's not super hot here. We'll even get kegs of beer, a lot of stuff for breweries, a lot of, just a lot of different stuff. You name it. Airplane part. I mean, you name it. I mean,
so
everything that I see behind you and under you, the chair, the desk, everything you're looking at right now, I've hauled, literally.
Yeah. So is your time to get around town a lot faster now than it would have been a month ago?
Oh,
probably cut in half, I would bet.
Oh, it's dramatically different. If if I've got a trip that's 20 miles, it takes about 22 minutes. You know what I'm saying? As before, it was a solid hour. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Yeah.
So you're more efficient. You're probably now seeing more money in your pocket because you can do more hauls.
well, me
No?
personally,
It depends whether he's paid by the load all the time.
no, I get paid by the hour, but
Oh,
the problem with it is that you're too efficient now. So there was a certain amount of traffic. So you still have a similar amount of work. The problem is we have the same amount of guys doing that work. So we're about to lay off because you're too efficient now. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing that trip only takes me 20-25 minutes to get to there and back, and and then another 25 minutes back, where it would take an hour each way
Yeah.
before.
Once he's back to normal, they might have to rehire those people.
So I'm a union guy, so our layoffs are definitely different. You can sometimes it's literally just pure paper. It's just a matter of them putting you from this box into this box, and you're still working just as much. You're just considered laid off. So
yeah, I've got a cousin who works for United as a mechanic, and he was telling they have over 600 planes parked
yeah.
throughout the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we're not the only. We have almost 400 terminals in our system.
Wow.
And we're one of the few that hasn't laid off. So, but it's coming. You know what I'm saying? So when trucking, as Mark knows, trucking is the first indication of how your country's doing. I don't care what country you live in, because that's how stuff gets to and from. It's your first indication of how your economy is doing, on how people are buying and selling and whatever they're doing. So when trucking is laying off, and when truck drivers aren't, or lorry drivers aren't moving, then that's your first indication that this is the real deal. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I remember during the Great Recession, the train that would go by, it's about not even a mile away from my house. All of a sudden, you stopped hearing the train as much.
Yeah, exactly.
And you noticed it then. It was like, wait a minute. Yeah. When it was normal, you're used to it going by so often. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no. Yeah. It's just that me personally, I am okay, but I have a lot of seniority, so that's a different deal. But yeah, we are going to lay off, and I would assume we're going to lay off a bunch of guys. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. It's you look at the first-time claims for unemployment. I mean, the last 3 weeks have been record-setting, and this coming week is going to be another one, I'm sure. So
yeah, we have a bunch of them here, and I don't know how many of you guys live in apartments, and I don't know what they call an apartment overseas, but boy, the apartment I've had to go to apartment complexes this past week. Oh my God, I didn't think about that, but you know how it is. Some of these apartment complexes in our bigger metro areas are huge. They're huge, man. They're putting thousands of people in there, and I felt like, because everybody's home. So there is so many people in these apartment complexes. I was like, I don't know how you live here, man. Like that's a petri dish waiting to happen. I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying? You got 3-4 levels to some of these places, and it's just building after building after building. They've got 20 some buildings in some places.
Well, it's like, people that live in the cities. You have a friend that lives in the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean,
the high rises. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got 5,000 people that live in a 40-story high rise or whatever. They're all home now.
Yeah. It's
he would go down and he would use the exercise room. It has some treadmills and ellipticals, and he's like, I don't use that anymore. I can't.
It's even here. I'm taking a lot of these deliveries right to residential houses, and some of these people are still trying to invite me in the house. I'm like, that ain't gonna happen. But you know how it is in your areas as well. You've got elementary schools and middle schools literally in the middle of these neighborhoods. They're literally across the street. They're literally in the middle. There's the center of some of these neighborhoods. And it's like school never let out. There's so many damn kids in these darn playgrounds of these schools. So they've had to do the best they can to shut those down because the parents were like sick of the kids. You want to go across the street? Have at it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they were driving them nuts. So, I had to watch it because these kids are running like crazy all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Darting
And,
around in between cars. And that
yeah, I mean, I caught a couple of little boys. It was the week before last. They were they saw me coming, so I had luckily seen them sneak behind this bush, and they were going to try to pop out at me, and they were going to have some fun. But, luckily I had seen them do that, so when they popped out, I wasn't too worried that they were going to jump out in front of me or something.
Yeah, but if you hadn't seen them,
Right. So it's something you got to watch out for. Just as a personal note, if you're driving through neighborhoods, be careful of these kids, man, because they're all over the place. They really are.
It's like, well, it's like summer, only more so because in the summer kids are going to day camps and that type of stuff, and they're not doing that now. So they're all at home all the time, and the parents are at home all the time.
Yeah.
And the kids are driving the parents crazy. They're always home.
They're driving them nuts. Yeah.
Except for Dennis and James. You guys. Well, you probably got those rugrats running around your house, right?
Yeah, my rugrat here, he's 23 today.
Okay.
That's a big rat, isn't it?
Yeah.
That rat eats a lot of food.
Yeah, that rat eats a lot of food, man. Exactly.
My daughter's married, lives up in Moors for an hour away from me, so I'm on my own. I go to walk every day, sometimes twice, talk to my neighbours, do exercise, cook my meals.
Oh yeah, no, that's good.
It's not really a lot of difference between being retired and going through this now, because I'm still doing the stuff I was doing when I was retired, except that I can't go to a restaurant or I can't go to the movie theater.
Yeah, no, it's kind of the same way for me. I mean, I've been working from home for almost 5 years at this point, so it's kind of the same routine, except we don't go out as much.
Yeah.
So you can't. But other than that, yeah, I mean,
and I'm washing my hands.
Yeah, and going through soap a little more. Yeah.
Hey Wes, is there a lot of golf carts in your area? Are you in that part of Florida or not?
No, that's a little bit further south of us.
Okay,
the villages and stuff, where the retirement communities are.
Because there is, I mean, and good for them, man. I mean, I when I go to our areas of Phoenix, because this is a large retirement community we have here, and there's certain specific cities here that there's golf cart lanes, and good for them, man. I mean, they're out on the golf carts running around. They're having a ball. I mean, they got their golf bags on there, and they're just very active. Good for them. You know what I'm saying? But I still worry when I deal with them. I'm like, and they're so friendly and everything, but I'm like, no, sir, please keep your distance, because if I have it and I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what's interesting. Now, did they stop that in? Did they close the golf courses in Florida West? Did the governor issue?
I think finally they closed that down, but they're still especially down in the villages and stuff, they're just having a lot of problems with people just not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're just hanging out, partying, and doing all that kind of crazy stuff.
And that's the crazy thing, because it really impacts older people quite a bit more. But the villages was the thing I heard a year or two ago, where it's like the largest increase in sexually transmitted diseases.
Yeah,
in the villages.
Yeah, they got
everybody down there getting chlamydia and
they got a little bit of a problem going on down there.
Hey, you got these little pills that can take care of a lot of situations now.
Exactly.
So there's diseases happening where they didn't used to.
They're like, hell, I got this back at Woodstock, and now I'm getting it again. I don't know.
I mean, you ain't worried about getting these people pregnant anymore, so
there's no worries there. Yeah.
There's no worries. blast, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
be free. You know,
Yeah.
whatever makes you happy. Yeah.
But I mean, it's so much fun when I go to those areas and I deal with a lot of seniors here. You know what I'm saying? And it's so much fun because they're just having a blast, man. I mean, you know, like they are literally living their best life. Honestly, I mean, they'll tell you the only downfall to living in these retirement communities, and it's not necessarily that there's just large amounts of seniors in some of these areas, and they say that you hear sirens constantly. You know what I'm saying? Like you would think it's the ghetto because there's people dying.
Ambulances.
A lot of emergencies. So you know.
Yeah. It's I'm sure Dennis is probably you're in your own house. You're not in a senior community. So.
Yeah. My daughter came round today, and she qualifies as a nurse this month.
Oh, good.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she's finished her university now, and
is she being?
She didn't come in. No, she just chatted from outside.
Okay.
Because obviously she's in and out of the hospital, and they've got people in there with corona.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was she one of the people that got fast tracked and they completed early, or
she actually finishes at the end of March.
Okay.
She's waiting now for registration. She can't get that until the university tells the Royal College of Nursing that she's passed. You know.
Okay. All right.
So she'll. I think she said some nurses are being fast tracked like 6 months early, but they haven't got away with it. When this is all over, they've still got to sit the finals and.
They're getting a lot of experience before the final.
Yeah, so I said to Abby, she seems to like straight in the deep end now.
Yeah.
I know somebody who was planning on going to university, but gee, I don't think that's going to happen now. I mean, they were setting up their whole life with their finances and what's going to happen, and all of a sudden the whole thing is just not going to happen.
Got put on hold at least for a few months, at least. Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of wondering too. Like, come next big school season for us here. If we're out of our homes at that point, or maybe we are, I think schools are going to be one of those things that are going to be, well, do we really need to go back to class? I mean, can we just keep these kids with laptops and do school? I think some of these smaller charter schools are going to be like, they're struggling already with their budgets. I think some of them are just going to say, you know what, let's just try it for the first semester. Keep it up,
Right. Not only the elementary schools, but high schools, junior colleges, and universities as well.
I think there's going to be some degree of some politicians in our area that are going to say, you know what, our budget's doing a lot better on that side of it. With I think it's going to be something that's talked about at least.
This thing is going to change society around the world.
Yeah, I mean,
just like how 9/11 changed the way we live here in the United States.
Oh yeah. Well, look, I mean, 9/11 directly impacted my life. Since 9/11, I have to pay $130 for my license now. I have to get a background check. I mean, that changed that. I mean, a couple planes flew into some buildings, and now I have to, which is fine. I mean, trust me, it's fine. It's just, but that's, in order to have hazmat on my license, I have to have a background check. I have to have my fingerprints taken every 4 years. I have to go through that whole background FBI investigation every 4 years. 4 or 5 years. Yeah, that's, so, we're going to come out of this with something. I mean, there's some of us that are borderline germaphobes as it was, and this validates everything you've ever thought.
more things can be made in America, like England, made in England. Bring it back to the country.
Yeah, that's another thing, right, Mark? I mean, for
Oh.
a lot of this business travel, I think a lot of businesses right now are asking that question, like, do
Mhm.
we really need to fly to these different places to can
Yeah.
we cut back on some of
Oh
this?
yeah, no, I'm convinced of that. I mean, I think you could probably eliminate half of business. I mean, there's still some face-to-face stuff that you need to do, but I bet you could probably eliminate half of business travel and just do it over, a live stream or that type of thing. So that's going to change the airlines as far as how much they need. Office space companies, they don't need 100,000 square feet of office. Maybe they only need 1,000 or 2,000 because everybody can work remotely and then they get together, once or twice a month for, team events or whatever. So yeah, it's going to change.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Frank? Like, you think back 10 years, economic downturn. I mean, you had probably 10 people in the office. They had mass layoffs. Now you've got that one person doing the job of 3 or 4. And we're 10 years removed from that. Now we're kind of used to that. But boy, it took a while to adjust to that. People came back to work, but not everybody came back to work because the companies got used to,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a certain degree of this too that's going to happen now. Do you see that happening in your area, Frank, or no?
I'm not sure. I really don't. As far as what happened with 9/11 and the jobs in this area, I'm not sure. I just don't know enough really to have an opinion one way or the other.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think a lot of people, are forced to work from home now, virtual or whatever, and there are a lot of employers that were hesitant to have their employees work from home, but now they're forced to do it for a month, 2 months, 3 months. They're going to find out that I think for the most part that they're almost as productive, maybe more productive than they would have been if they're in the office all the time.
The way I see it with
Depends on the job,
working from
but-
home, it can help out in so many different ways. First of all, you're more productive because you don't have that 1 to 2 hours of commute that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
So you're saving lives. You're being green because you're not burning dead dinosaurs, and you don't have to live in Silicon Valley and spend $1.5 million for a 700 square foot house. You could be 1,000 miles away in a much more affordable area with much better actually living conditions.
Yeah.
And less stress because you're not worried about your property taxes being $12,000 a year and all this other stuff. So the housing all of a sudden could become a lot more affordable because people don't have to be in these really highly congested areas where the high dollar jobs are.
Yeah. It's not gonna flip everything 180 degrees, but I think it's gonna take a chunk.
Yeah.
Maybe 20%, 15, 20%. We're gonna make some changes, and yeah, people. If we're noticing that the streets are quieter, there's less pollution, everybody else is. So they're gonna be like, hey, this is. They're going around and we're, hey, this is kind of nice,
It is, man.
I mean, I can deal with this, and we were never forced to do it before because we didn't have to. So everybody just got used to whatever that was, but now this is forced us to change things around. So it's a different reality.
Mm-hmm.
So,
When this is over, Jimmy, you and me are still going to be retired.
that's true.
I'm still waiting for my check from Trump.
Yeah. Well, even you guys that stay at home, Mark, Jimmy and Dennis, you guys stay at home regularly. And my daughter has worked from home for some time already before this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it's impacted her life as well. And I understand where she's coming from. She almost can't stand it because, she had a routine of doing stuff, that like Mark, she liked to exercise and she had a routine. She'd get on the computer for a few hours and then, okay, then go out and exercise, and then go to Starbucks and get her little whatever, and then do her little grocery shopping while sipping her Starbucks, and then come home and then, you know, be on the computer for a while, and then go run out and do whatever errands, you know, and now she can't. And so now she is literally just stuck in the house, and it's driving her nuts.
Yeah.
Well, before I retired, I was working at home for a couple of days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, I used to get my washing done.
Yeah. You can do the laundry while you're working. Yeah. That's a perfect break. You know, the washing machine's done. You toss it into the dryer. You take a 5-minute break. Go and do that.
That's at your break time. Then lunchtime, you empty the dryer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my wash going right now. Actually, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but yeah, it's going right now.
So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I think it is gonna change things a little bit at least, which will be good. Now, speaking of changing things, let's change and look at some images, because Dennis has been out with his little permission card to do some walking around, and he's been taking his camera out and he's been photographing. Now, is this in your garden, Dennis?
Yeah, that was in the garden.
Okay, all right. So, a tulip, I'm assuming, right? Looks like a tulip.
Yep.
Yeah, very nice. 60.
Yeah, this was with the Voigtlander 65 mil.
Mm-hmm. And that's Sony. Now, speaking of cameras, I messaged Wes about I'm thinking about getting a new camera that can work for streaming / video stuff. So I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit. The Sony would be nice, but it's kind of pricey. You said the M50, right, Wes?
Yeah, I think that's probably if you want to do Canon,
Yeah.
the way to go for video.
There's a camera for Olympus. I think it's called Tough 6 or something. That's supposed to be pretty good.
Which one?
Olympus Tough 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got to research that a little bit. Okay, so
What are you planning on using it for? Just for video?
video, and then also, I mean, I guess I would use it for photography, but, you know, I don't know if I need 4K, but I've got a cheap little camcorder here that I got a couple years ago that works okay, but it's not as good as it could be. So, I'm thinking about
You can.
upgrading a little bit.
I'm still in the in the camp that if you want a device that's for video, get yourself a good camcorder.
Yeah.
You get a bright lens. A lot of the camcorders have 1.8 lenses. You got image stabilization. You got a smooth power zoom. You got a sensor that's designed for it. I mean, I've done a little research, very little, but I've done some research. And every video I've seen, the guys are always saying, unless you need that shallow depth of field look, there's no reason to buy not to buy a camcorder for video.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm going back and forth on. Is if you want the shallow depth of field, then you need a camera. But yeah, I've got to look at it. But the M50 does meet a lot of that criteria, and it's relatively inexpensive. Or get one for the
One of the things to look out though is when you're doing a movie, zoom in and zoom out, because you might, on that Tough 6, apparently you can hear the zooming noise. That's it's a bad thing, though.
Yeah.
The camera's supposed to be very good.
Yeah, I watched one video. The guy zoomed in with his camera. He's using a really inexpensive one of those super zoom Canons. And I tell you, when he zooms in, it's like he took the microphone and just dragged it across a bed of gravel.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's really bad.
Yeah, you've got to be careful with that. So yeah, I'm going back and forth. But my choice would be a lot easier if I had a chicken named Bluebell in the garden.
Right? Yeah.
Now, is this the actual chicken? Is this a live chicken or a? This is a real live chicken, right?
Yeah, this is a real chicken because we go and collect the eggs every day.
Okay, so this is your own personal chicken.
Yeah, there was more, but the fox got in and okay. It looked like the Alamo.
Okay. Feathers everywhere, huh?
Apart from the fox eating them, how long does the chicken normally last?
Well, this one's about 5 years old now. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, lays probably 180 eggs a year.
Okay. So one every couple. So how many chickens do you have, Dennis?
Well, this is the last one because the others are dead.
Oh, okay. It's the lone survivor. Okay.
This one has survived well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she used to be bullied by the others.
Oh,
Now-
okay.
Now she's got the place to herself.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but this one I took with the 90mm Leica lens on
Okay.
the camera.
Nice.
And
I
it,
like that.
it was
Very-
wide open. Yeah.
Came out very nice. Got a little catch light in the eye there.
Mhm.
She's doing a good job of posing.
Yeah, well, I was just lucky really because it's a manual focus lens.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. So is that her name, Bluebell?
No, that's the breed.
Okay. The Bluebell chicken. Okay. Now, are the eggs, are they white or brown?
Brown.
Brown eggs. Okay. Nice. I didn't know you were a chicken farmer. Well, you're only down to one chicken. Are you going to add more? You going to add more chickens?
Well, it's a bit awkward because they don't like mixing them. You know, if you put new chickens in, this one's immune to all the bacteria and stuff in a pen,
Mm-hmm.
a house. You introduce new, and they got different germs and
Oh, okay. All
just
right.
like die out, or they attack her. You know.
Okay. So you have to wait till she goes on to the great chicken coop in the sky, and then you can get a whole batch of new ones.
Before she becomes
Or his pot in the kitchen.
Yeah. Roast. So if we see a picture of roast chicken, then we're like, oh.
yeah, this one's quite tame actually. She'll just come up and eat out your hands, and
Okay.
it's got used to it.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad used to have chickens and ducks
Okay.
in his backyard.
Yeah. Yeah. We're allowed. Our county allowed chickens. They actually passed an ordinance a couple years ago, so I technically could have chickens in my yard, but I don't think I will. I think
Yeah,
they-
What
Yeah,
possible
yeah.
reason would a government have to ban the ownership of a chicken? I mean, I mean, obviously you don't want to keep it in your apartment, but
yeah, yeah. I don't know, but they specifically allowed it. I think it's up to 4 or 5. It's depending on the size of your lot. I mean, some type of thing. So I think we could have 3 or 4 because we've got about a third of an acre. But we have fox, we have coyote. Yeah, the chickens wouldn't last very long, I don't think.
Yeah, where I used to live, where Tim is now, I had 12 ducks and 12 chickens, and the fox killed the lot one night.
Wow.
that's what happened with my dad. We're not sure if it was a raccoon or a hawk or what, but one day they were all just scattered around, feathers there all over the place.
Yeah, I was loading the shotgun up. I could hear the commotion down in the garden. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the time I got down there, it was just like dead ducks and chickens everywhere now.
Oh, man. Quick.
But those eggs, I tell you, they're a lot better than what you buy in the store.
Oh, they are definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, they really are.
The shells are a lot thicker as well, but they taste better.
Yeah.
Yep, the yolks are more yellow. I mean, there's just a lot more good stuff in them. Yeah.
I don't know. Have you guys ever seen a goose egg?
Big, isn't it?
A goose egg? A friend of mine has geese, and she gave me a couple goose eggs. And man, they're good, but it's mostly yolk. I mean, you got a yolk that's about this big, and then you got but the whites are just a little bit beyond it.
Okay.
It's just the inverse of what you would expect from a chicken egg.
Yeah, chicken's more white than
Huge.
yolk. Yeah.
Huge eggs.
Yeah. Yep. Well, so here we got storm pumps.
Yeah.
This is what keeps your garden dry, right, Dennis?
Yeah, this is over on the sea defences.
Okay.
We live on an island, and the Dutch they dug loads of drainage, storm drains and stuff. And these are the massive pumps that
Okay.
pump the stormwater away into the sea.
All right.
But I thought it looked better in black and white. Just
Oh
for
yeah. No, that looks very good. I like the the composition, everything's in there. You got the nice lighting's great. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, when them pumps go, boy, it's like Niagara Falls.
Hmm. Yeah, it looks like they could pump a lot of water pretty quick. Yeah. So this was the Sony. Which lens did you have on it?
This was the Voigtland 50mm 1.2.
Okay, nice, very nice. Yeah, nice shot.
Now, did you have any filter on your lens when you shot this, or I don't think you need to when you're doing black and white?
I had a UV filter on because obviously I was taking it in color. I just converted it to black and white. It was a very sunny day. I expected it to be more contrasty because of the sun.
Mm-hmm. Because usually in black and white, if you shot this with like a monochrome camera or black and white film, that sky would have been blown out.
Yeah. It's well, digital cameras, they're rubbish when it comes to skies, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it came out very nice. Yeah, so that UV filter was what, half a stop maybe? I don't know what.
Yeah, it's just the UV's probably half a stop, but I could have done with polarizer or an ND on there, especially when it was taken at f1.2. So
yeah, you could have put something on it. Got it
wide open. It was like 4,000 or 8,000 per second.
Yeah. So here we go, clay. So these are just little.
Yeah, these are clay pellets that are in the hydroponics in the greenhouse.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. So you don't use soil. You can just use pumped nutritious water across these. Okay. They hold the nutrients. They're like baked in a kiln. Yeah, this was just as an experiment. And the next picture is what GMIC filter did to it.
Whoa! It looks like a flower. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just running through the GMIC filters, and I thought, well, that certainly had an effect on that picture.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of cool.
Where do you get these filters? I tried finding them. I couldn't find them couldn't find them online.
It's actually called GMIC, and it's an add-on for GIMP.
Yeah, so it's GM. Just search for like GMIC add-on, or plug-in or whatever, and you'll find it. And if you have GIMP installed, you can download it, and you just add it in as a plug-in, basically.
Yeah, I think there's about 700 filters.
It's
massive.
It's overwhelming. Yeah, there's so much there.
I've also pulled in the FX Foundry as well, which is probably the same again.
Yeah, I haven't done that one yet. So, but no, this is cool. It's a neat effect.
Yeah, now these are the retirement homes they've been building down by the sea wall.
Okay, so they're the ones that get flooded first when.
This is where they all come to retire.
Okay.
I'm just thinking, like, are these 2 meters apart? Are they complying with the rules?
Yeah, I don't know. They have social distancing from one.
Yeah, I mean, they are full of older people, and they
basically look like double wide trailers.
They are. Yeah, they are. They got wheels on. Yeah, they're like
okay, it's a trailer park.
Men on the backs of lorries, and they just bolt them together and stick the AstroTurf around the outside.
They're nice inside, but they're not very strong.
They are very nice inside. We went and had a look in some of the show homes, and the only problem I could see is they cost more money than buying a 3-bedroom house.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Have a guess at the price.
Oh, I don't know. 400,000 pounds.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, about 375,000.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Yeah.
Just because of where it's at.
Yeah, you can actually buy a house cheaper. At least you own the ground. I mean, you have to pay the ground rent here. You don't own the ground.
So they're not freehold.
No, they're not freehold. No, you have to buy. You have to buy everything from the site. The gas, electricity, stuff like that. So, and it's probably £600-700 a month ground rent.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
So
lot.
you buy the building for £350,000, and then you're paying $700 a month just to plop it on, to hold it on that little piece of land.
Yeah. And usually they come with a 30-year lease, probably, the ground.
Yeah.
After 30 years, they tell you to get your old building off of their land or buy a new one,
Oh, man.
That sounds
guess-
a lot like the mobile home parks here, except
Yeah.
way cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, you can buy something like this in a typical mobile home park for probably 65,000, maybe 70. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
It used to be a holiday site. People would come down from London. They'd have caravans by the seaside, and
Yeah. Yeah.
now they're turning them. All of them are being turned over into these retirement places. You can't buy one unless you're over 50 years old, I think.
Okay. Well, I could buy one now. I can move over there and buy one. Joe, you could pretty soon. You could. Yeah, we'll just move over there and buy one, Joe. What do you
Yeah,
think?
just buy one of these things. Yeah.
Down with a private truck down there.
Yeah.
I
I
could
deliver
fit
it.
your truck right there. I mean, I think,
I deliver at places like this, believe it
Yeah.
or not. Yeah.
yeah.
I do drop trailers at places like this, believe it or not.
Yeah, yeah.
They do look very nice, but so as far as investments go, I wouldn't touch them with a barge pole.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Yeah, for that price, I wouldn't.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they do a 30-year lease. Most of them will be, unfortunately passed on to the next life by 30 years from then. So
Yeah.
I mean,
they're not worried about renewing their lease. Maybe. I don't know.
they sell some of these on the sites with 30-year lease. They're holiday use only. You can't live in them permanently,
Okay.
and they charge around 200,000. And over the 30 years, you'll pay another 200,000 in ground rent.
Oh man, so it's like a timeshare almost.
So what's the attraction? The seaside?
What was this?
What's the attraction of wanting to move in there?
I think if you had a house in London, a big house in London, and your kids have moved away, and it's probably worth £1 million, you could retire to the seaside, and you got $750,000 to go spend before you croak it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you sell the house and buy this, and have a bunch left over to just get the STDs, partying with all the other seniors.
Hey, Dennis, you perfectly described what happens between Arizona and California all the time. I mean, they sell their expensive house in California and they move to Arizona and they buy something here and then live off of that.
Well, that's like New York moving down on the East Coast.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's exactly the
All
same.
those New Yorkers going to Florida. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I've been lined up. I didn't say that. That didn't cross my mind.
Yeah, the only good thing I can see about buying one of these is that in this country, if you get old and ill and you have to pay for your care, they will take your house and sell it and use the money for your care home.
Oh,
Yeah. Whereas these, if you live in one of these, they can't be sold.
Oh, okay.
They're not a house. You see, they're a mobile home. Yeah.
But you
Oh, okay.
have the other assets.
Yeah, no, they can't. They can't be taken and used. Mate,
Yeah.
you can't take them off and sell them and use the money for your
So
care.
there's probably, for the people that have the extra money, this is probably an estate planning strategy.
Yeah.
So
Well, they say you can't take it with you, and they're right.
yeah. Oh, okay. So Pat is in. Sorry, Pat. I didn't see. Tried to upload some photos. Installing. Yep. Looks like it's there.
yeah, they're up there now.
Okay. Cool.
Roadster, yeah.
So very nice. Okay. So yeah, I think that might be like a estate planning strategy. They buy that because if the government reclaims their house to pay for care, if they don't have a house to reclaim, then they get to keep more money to pass on to the next generation. So
Yeah.
that's probably part of it. Yeah. Or they could take some of the money and buy one of these.
Yeah, this is true. You could have one of those mobile homes, or probably half of one of these.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. You got to sleep in the back of your GT2. 911 GT2. Wow. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, cool.
It looks like that same place he was a couple weeks ago, where he was waiting to photograph his that other car.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's why he's posting these. Is that's where it's from?
I wonder if that's another car he shot there. Yeah, that's nice. Oh yeah, there we go. I'll take that. That'll let you outrace the coronavirus right there. Just go from one state to the other.
Carrera virus.
Carrera virus.
Die.
Yeah, that's a good one to suffer from.
Yeah. I've got a Carrera virus. They just keep doubling every 3 days. I get more Carreras.
Yeah, I get more correct. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is what he was photographing a couple weeks ago. Hit this art. That's nice. Yeah, this was the result of what he was shooting when he was up, I'm sure, a couple weeks ago. Very nice. I like it. That's such a great looking car.
It is. It always reminds me of a Carmagia, though.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, basically the same car. I mean, I think the chassis is pretty much the same. Oh, this is probably tweaked quite a bit, but I mean, yeah, it's essentially.
I like what he does here with that, with that shallow depth of field, making it look like a toy.
Yeah. Yep. That's his. That's kind of his signature. Seems like.
He does that a lot with his 135. It's a great lens.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a great car. I like it. I would not be. You wouldn't have to talk me into driving this car around all day.
Yeah. It'd be fun. That's for sure.
You say how many images?
For a while.
How many he took? Oh no, it doesn't say. No. It's probably, I don't know, 40 or 50.
Yeah, I was gonna say 40.
Yeah.
400 bazillion gigabytes.
Yeah.
At this point, he's probably got it down to a science where he's just like,
Yeah. I would think it'd be almost automatic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like muscle memory at that point. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, the more you shoot, the more you know what you're going to do before you even do it anymore.
Yeah,
It becomes automatic. I'm going to do it here, and I'm going to do it this way, and you spend so much less time reinventing the wheel and trying to think about how to do things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you find something that works, and if it's repeatable.
Yeah, plug and play.
Yeah. There you go.
Is this what he done with his drone?
Yeah, I'm guessing
It
that's
might.
a drone shot.
Yeah. Yep. DJI. Yeah, that's his drone. Very nice. Was the last one a drone as well? Yes, the last one was a drone too. So.
Really?
Nice.
I wouldn't have known
Yeah.
if I hadn't looked. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he said as long as he's doing this kind of work that he can get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, and it works perfect for this.
And he's got that little tiny drone too, man. It's that little sucker. He showed us.
Yeah, it's like 1 gram less than the requirement for needing registered. It's 200. Anything 250 and over needs to be registered or whatever, and his is 249.
I think Sim got that same drone as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Is DJI Mavic Pro or something?
No, it's like the DJI. It's not the Spark. It's like smaller than that. It's the DJI.
It's like literally like the size of your wrist. I mean, of your palm. It's
Wow.
tiny.
It's tiny. It is. It's tiny. And
I wonder how long your exposures can be with something like this. With with the gimbal that it has.
well,
Depends on the wind and all that stuff, but
Sure.
you get fairly slower than you would think. Those
1/40th. I
pretty
mean,
fancy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's amazing how far drones have come in the last 4 or 5 years. It's just crazy.
And where they'll be another 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, 1/40th. I think is pretty good. You
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
mean, for a moving object that's moving all over the damn place like that, you know, it's
You also got to consider that if you're using such a small sensor, your focal lengths are shorter, and you're
Mhm.
usually far away, so your depth of field is going to be immense, anyways. You don't have to worry about shooting at f/16.
Yeah.
But but still, if you wanted to get some, excuse me, some sort of motion blur from the subject, I don't think they're there quite yet.
Yeah. No, it's you need a bigger sensor. I mean, I think.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you could, when they actually get down to the point where you could have like a 1 second exposure with the drone.
Yeah.
I
That would
bet you
be
they got
really
some
cool.
drones that they can do that. They're just going to be the big ones, probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Some great shots, Pat. Thank you for sharing. That is cool. All right, we're going into what's this now officially, Joe? What do you say? Week 5
Yeah, week 5. Yeah.
of Corona.
Yeah.
No, I shared it with Joe, but there's a lady I just recognized today. She's on like a local channel as a reporter. Her name is Wendy Corona. So I think that might not be the best name for this particular.
Yeah, I was thinking about the beer company. Or what's going to go happen with them?
I don't know. I don't know. My local liquor store, people are still toting out pallets of Corona beer
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I have not wanted Corona beer so much in my life right now.
I've been tempted a couple times just to buy some.
Social distancing,
Just
you
for
know,
the novelty?
Yeah, just because you're like, it makes me want to drink Corona right now.
yeah.
If it were hotter, I would probably have done it.
No, you get that would be a great image. You get a Corona in each hand, and you stay 6 feet apart, and you're like toasting, but you're only 6 feet apart.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then what you do is you take a roll of toilet paper and you just stick it in there, and then you have a nice little.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. There's your koozie.
that's a good. All right,
That is a good
I'm gonna
one.
go to the liquor store. I'll do that. Yeah,
We got to make that happen right there. That's
yeah,
a
I
good
think
one.
we do. I think we need to do that.
It's
Roll
$1
of
million
toilet paper
idea.
in a
Great
Corona.
idea.
Yeah, that's good.
That is good. Yeah.
It's a little homemade thermos there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Keep your beer cool.
Double
Yeah.
ply. Double ply.
Yeah. Double
Yeah,
play.
I
Yeah.
don't know this single ply crap for me. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, double play. All right. All right. Well, on that note, I think we'll end this one. Good idea.
Oh, bump. Right.
We gotta. Yeah. We're at the end of that one. But
We're at the end of that one, huh?
we'll just wipe this one done.
Whoa! Yes.
Oh man, this thing is going in the toilet quick.
Yeah. All right. Hey, good show, guys. Everybody stay safe, healthy, and get through week 5 here, and we'll be back next week.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
That's right. Yep. All right. Take care, guys. See ya. All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.